How y'all doing? This one is going to be cryptid related. I plan on covering something that I've covered many times when it comes to this cryptid, and that is the Dogman. However, I'm going to cover something that I've not really talked about at length. That is their intelligence. What makes these things so damn smart? That's what I'm trying to figure out. It's definitely something that is part of their adaptive nature, and has definitely put them at the top of the food chain in more ways than one. True, they're big, they're bad, they're scary. Some, of course, actually ain't so big. They're still bad and scary. The thing is, whatever variant, whatever type, I'm going to have to give certain folks, even if I'm not their biggest fan, credit on that. They did put that out there when it comes to the types of Dogman. But they all seem to have one thing in common. They're smart. Very, very smart. I mean, scarily smart. I mean, these things have tactics. It's obvious they have ambush tactics when it comes to hunting prey, just like Bigfoot. I'm not going to say they're as smart as Bigfoot, but they might be even smarter in some ways. Because these things are obviously, I'm just saying, there's so much going on with the Dogman, man. It's obvious these creatures are carnivores, and it's obvious they hunt in packs. Hell, there's been people that say these things are so fast the eye can't even see them. That's obviously an evolutionary thing, but obviously these things are not just fast and strong, they're smart. Think about it. I mean, hell, there's been stories of these creatures not just terrorizing people, but literally leaving goats' heads and stuff on sticks, deer heads on sticks, like as a warning. I'm just saying, that's scary stuff. And that's not something unlike primate behavior, when you think about it. Like with Bigfoot, there's similar types of things, and those creatures are obviously primates. Very smart primates, but moving on from that, this ain't about Sasquatch. What I'm saying is this. From a scientific point of view, Dogman is smart. And obviously their evolutionary traits have made them to be so. Now, you have to think on this. I'm going to go ahead and go from a scientific point of view. And obviously, through somebody who I'm actually a fan of their writing. I've loved their books long before, I was part of really any community when it comes to this stuff. And that is Whitley Strieber. Now, I've read part of his communion, I think it was part of his communion series. I'm not really much into UFOs and all that. I've found, of course, guests and stuff for DW, but that's not really my niche. I tend to go more in the cryptids and the paranormal when it comes to that direction. And of course, ghosts and things like that. That's kind of where I know things. But I'll tell you this, he had a very interesting book, and it was fascinating. And I think that he may have been in the know more ways than one. And I could be wrong. Maybe he's just a wild imagination, but I'm thinking on the other one. He claims to be also an abductee. I actually believe him on that. There's no reason to say he's not. So my point is this. I have a feeling you might be channeling something a little more than just regular stuff here, what I'm about to reveal to you. And that is a book he wrote called Wolfen. The book was a work of genius. It didn't have werewolves, not the way you'd think. It had dogmen. I'm not saying that he called them dogmen. No. I'm not talking about that. These were wolf-like creatures that had evolved to be very intelligent, very smart, and they, of course, people fought back and they hunted them back and killed a lot of them. So they learned to hunt the weak, the injured, and things like that. They even had their own hierarchy, very intelligent. These creatures had literally opposable thumbs. They could literally stand up on their hind legs like a person, rip you apart. They could open doors. But they were still very much animals. Just very smart animals. And I think that Mr. Strieber may have been channeling something that, like I said, that fella has a lot of know-how. I'm saying this with the greatest respect, and I could be wrong, but I'm just saying. That, I think, is a definite possibility. These creatures, when it comes to their intelligence. I've never really spoken like this before because I've never had a reason to until now. Because I never thought about it until right now. I've already done 2 videos, and I was like, you know what, while I have this creative binge, I may as well just go ahead and do this one. And it made me think. Till just now. I've mentioned it before, but I've never really focused on it like now, So I'm thinking very much that there is a variant of the Dogman that is very smart, and it has evolved from canines. It's very possible. Hell, I mean, I'm not saying. Look, you guys know I'm of the faith. I do not believe in what I would say, like we came from monkeys or anything like that, but I do believe that there is evolution simply means change. I do believe our bodies and our minds and even our spirits adapt to our surroundings. So what if there was a phylum of dog or canine that did? No, true, they may have been tinkered with by some ancient race. I mean, hell, I've even done that in my stories. I mean, I'm not going to hide that. I mean, I've put that theory out there. But whether it be that or, the creator, daddy, the father, doing what he's done in his very brilliant ability, or whether these things are work of the fallen, like I kind of suggested. I kind of believe that could be. Or they're just something kind of in between. I don't know. Maybe they're an interdimensional creature. I don't know. But I believe very firmly that the scientific part of it is that they could have evolved, whether it be, I think, probably with help from canines. That's something that I really believe that would speak for their intelligence because, again, they adapted to their surroundings and they simply became the apex predator through using this. And of course, when you have higher intelligence, you have higher malevolence, if you know what I'm talking about. That's something, I mean, hell, look at chimpanzees. Those bastards are vicious. Man, my God, those are the closest things to us in nature that we know of. And boy, are they like us. That's not a good thing at all, if you get my drift. Also, you gotta think about this. If it is a demonic creature, well, think about that. Demons, they take on the form of many things which, how can I say this? They're disembodied spirits, so it's only natural that they would be able to take different forms, especially with what terrifies us or what our brain, of course, or more like our soul, I would say, our spirit reveals to them. Because they can read your soul, not really your mind. It's kind of beyond that, if you get my drift. So, if that's the case, well, you already know, those kind of things are very, very smart. Beyond us, leave it at that. So I rest my case there. There's no need to even go into further detail on that. However, what if? I'm going to kind of put something else out there. I'm going to put out something which might actually make you think. I definitely believe in 1 and 2. And those are definite possibilities and probabilities, one feeding off the other and vice versa. However, I also believe that you'd be surprised how many people, I mean, believe me, I'm a small YouTuber. You guys already know that. I'm tiny compared to many. I've been surprised how many people have binged my content. Hell, I've been surprised how much I've binged of other people's content throughout the years. And that right there puts a lot of, there is something, it's something actually in Warhammer. Ironically, yeah, I mean, you guys already know I like role-playing games and stuff. And different things, and the lore speaks of something, especially when it comes to Warhammer 50k, or 40k, it speaks of something called the Warp. And I'm talking about, like, it's literally a realm where men's thoughts, other entities' thoughts, your soul, everything, the energy that comes from that is put into that realm called the Immaterium or something like that, I think. But either way, in the Warp, there's creatures and monsters created from your thoughts. Now, of course, that is fantasy. And it's also different than, it's not real. But every fact is based on, how can I say this the best way? Every fantasy is based on some fact. So my point is this. What if our minds as a collective that have binged this content and all this stuff and put it out there? People are smart. People are very smart. I mean, believe me, we have a goodness in us and a wickedness that it cannot be matched by any other creature on this planet. If you know what I mean. So therefore, I believe it's very possible. That's kind of the third or fourth or whatever translation. And then, of course, naturally, something that's created to, people are thinking, yeah, this thing is smart, is going to be smart. Like I said, it's just straightforward. Very straightforward, especially if you pay attention to things. Pay attention to different types of opinions, and definitely try to keep an open mind on this. Just don't be so open of the mind that your brain falls out of your skull. I'm just saying, these things are intelligent, there's no doubt about it. Obviously, they're smart enough to have kept hidden from us. Of course, I think Uncle Sam wants that as well. But my point is this. An animal like this, if they are animals, definitely do not get around and stay hidden by being dumb. I just wanted to put that out there. That's really all I'm going to do for this one. You guys know what I do. I produce for Dark Waters Entertainment. My email is wesvic@iamdarkwaters.com. If you've had a sighting of any sort, whether it be Dogman, Bigfoot, cryptid, or supernatural, ghosts, or otherwise, hit me up. And I'll definitely make sure that you have the chance to tell your story or your encounter. You guys be blessed and you be safe.